Good morning, students. A very warm welcome on Tuesday morning. We are here back with the business correspondence and reporting exam, and I'm going to take the continuation of the last class, reading comprehension. A very, very good morning to all of you, those who have joined, who were there last time in the class. It's so nice to see everybody back. Ruhani is here and Sovan is here. Good morning, Komalpreet. Good morning, Khushi. Please join quickly. I'm waiting for everybody. Once everybody joins, we'll start. Just to take it from the last class, how many of you could easily understand whatever we did last time? We talked about reading comprehension. We talked about some examples. I was trying to give you a lot of examples which were, kind of simple and then middle level. And then we went to some more detailed economics. We went to abstract topics. So I hope everything was clear. Everything was getting into you. Because see, I'm repeating this, maybe I'm sounding very repetitive, but the business correspondence and reporting paper is very, very naturally coming to you. At least my part of it, you don't have to worry. All topics, you have done them in school. It's just a kind of revision. And most importantly, you need to be very sure about your daily practice, about your daily reading, about your daily vocabulary enhancement, about your daily grammar knowledge. If you attend the classes and if you refer to the study material by ICI, then I think nobody is going to stop you from getting a full marks. Okay. So please keep this habit of reading. Last time also we were discussing. In fact, I just wanted to know today, how many of you actually read something, like read regularly? You have a book in hand and maybe you're reading a newspaper or there's a particular magazine you follow. So quickly tell me, how many of you read? Thank you, Om. Thanks a lot. Yes, all clear. Thank you so much, Ruhani. Most of you are saying everything was clear. So see, the idea is this is not a formula-based class. Okay, we are not doing a formula. We are not doing any derivation. There is no logic to be applied. We just have to realize that the better our reading skills, the easier the paper appears to be. And it is not an exam for which you need to take stress. You just don't need to take stress. You can easily go enjoy the paper. Just that you should be a well-read person. Your vocabulary should be strong. You should be able to read with concentration, and your grammar topics, your comprehension topics, resume writing, article writing, précis writing, everything will come to you naturally. Please just go through the study material, attend the classes regularly, ask your doubts, don't leave anything unsolved. The number of doubts you have, everything should be asked. Don't hesitate, please. And I'm repeating this, ask me relevant doubts. I know there are some students who are asking some really irrelevant doubts and maybe they're inappropriate for the class also. So please don't do that. Let's utilize the platform in a very good way. And I personally feel, even when we are discussing a book or a novel or a movie, for example, you must have seen a movie and you want to discuss that, that is also a good way of improving your communication skills. So the BCR paper is not just limiting you to textbooks and grammar and theory. You also become a very good speaker because you have a lot of interview skills there. You have a lot of business communication, introduction to basics of writing. All that actually enhances your language power. And once you are good at your language, once you have a command over language, then I think whether it's writing or reading or speaking or listening or comprehending or presenting, everything becomes like a cakewalk. Okay, great. So that's from my side. Let me say Miracles by Napoleon Hill. Okay, very good. Hobby to read books. Suraj, what are you reading? You're reading movie subtitle? Is that what you're reading, Mustaqim? Reading as in book reading, I'm asking. Okay. Good morning, Sneha. Good morning, Dikshika, sorry. Preeti. Thank you so much, Kartikeya. Thanks for the wishes. And you read 10 pages per day. Very good. Sandeep, that's what I'm doing since last class. I'm telling you so many things for tips. No, it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tips. You do this and suddenly the cake gets baked. It's not that easy. You have to really, really, really study and take it easily. There is no pressure for the BCR paper. That's what I'm saying. If you are a good reader, if you have a strong command over language, that is what is required. Just that there are some certain templates for interview, there's certain templates for resume writing, for report writing. For that, it will be a suggested idea that you refer to the study material. That's the only tip I can give. Okay, Sandeep? No, it's there. The PCR paper is there. What day? That's your name? Why do you think the PCR paper is not there? Asmita, good morning. Nagavevi, good morning. Okay, so what are you guys reading? Tell me that first of all. I hope you're reading relevant stuff. Watching Netflix and watching Disney Hotstar and watching Amazon Prime is not the key to learning language. You should be sitting with a book, at least spending 10 minutes every hour in having something in your hand. Okay. Why I'm saying this, as CA aspirants, once you become a CA, once you become an acclaimed CA, there are a lot of reports you have to study. There are a lot of surveys which you have to comprehend. There are a lot of meetings where a lot of paperwork is there. Even if it's not paperwork, it's there on screen, even soft copies. But how will you understand all that if you will not actually deliver it in a way? There is no possibility that you can understand. So please remember, you have to read. Reading is the only mantra for vocabulary, for language, for communication skills. Okay. Okay, common articles of business. Very good. Kindle. Yeah, Riddhi, but what do you read in Kindle? Are you reading some specific book? Hindustan Times. Okay. Okay. Rosabelle line is good. That's a nice book. Thanks, Fatima. Okay, Suraj has read 15 books. 15 books in how many days, in how many months, in how many years, Suraj? Okay, India Today is a good choice. Hindustan Times is what mostly everybody is saying. Murder at the Museum. Okay. Thanks, Gopi Krishna. Pushwan Singh is an awesome writer. Thank you, Mr. Kim. Ma'am is fancy but necessary to be learned for office environment. Well, Pankaj, it's a very indirect question. What do you mean by fancy words like that? Somebody who has a good English will always feel that, for me, this is very normal. I don't have to think about it being a fancy word or a normal word. So when you are in the office environment, when you are in the corporate, you have to be very sure about speaking good English. If you want a client facing role, if you want to go abroad, if you want to meet, if you want to be the face of your organization, isn't English important? Because that's the way you're going to talk to your foreign clients, maybe. Even when you're doing a presentation, you're taking a seminar, it's very important that you have a command over what you're saying. You should not be searching for words, fumbling for words. So when I see my students talking in English, whether it is Harish or Sandeep or Preeti or Mustaqim or Pankaj for that matter, I want you to stand on the stage with confidence, address as many number of people. Maybe it's an audience of 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 or even 5 people. Your level of confidence while talking in this language should be so high that people look up to you for the kind of words you use. That is your achievement. Okay. So don't restrict yourself to fancy words, environment, which environment here or there. That is all irrelevant. Sneha, you can read all books. There is no particular suggestion. You should read all books which you think are going to be helpful, whether they are fiction, whether they are non-fiction. Even if you read a newspaper, it's fine because the list of book is endless. I do have a suggested book list, but that's just like because I read them recently and I found them good and I found them relevant for your age group. So it's a suggestion. Now, there are some very good books like, Train to Pakistan by Pushwan Singh. Everybody reads that. So you can also read it. And especially because he's one of the very, very good, very famous, very popular Indian authors. Okay. Yukta, try to reach that 20% English also. Koshish karo, please. The paper is going to be in English. You have to aspire to speak in English. Try your level best. If I start in Hindi, the problem kya hoti hai? There are a lot of people who don't understand Hindi at all. Just raise your bars, come to the English part of it. Okay, Times of India. ठीक है, Dale Carnegie is good. Train to Pakistan again. Okay. So most of you are giving me names of newspapers. Some of you are saying Train to Pakistan. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry for this glitch. There was some technical glitch at my end. I'm really sorry. Okay, so let's continue. So I'm seeing all of you are reading a lot of books. I'm happy with the kind of response I'm getting. Please continue to read something which is relevant. At this point of time, you should always be reading something which is going to help you in your academic understanding and your general perspective. So if you're reading a book which is hardcore fiction, it might not be using very good vocabulary. But if you're going to read something which is maybe related to politics or current affairs or management or finance or economics, it's also going to help you in the reading comprehension, which we are going to do right now. Okay. Okay. Good. So I'm seeing a lot of choices. I'm seeing Ferryman. I'm seeing Song of Ice and Fire. Everything is very good. Okay. Fine. So now let's continue with the academic part of it. This was just to know, I hope you all are reading something, and it's very important to keep a book in hand. So now I'll start with my presentation part. So last time, if you remember, we were doing some examples and the examples were of different levels. Most of you were able to finish everything. Now I'm going to start with the second level of the reading comprehension, which is Bloom's taxonomy, and about the different kind of questions and how should they be addressed. Okay. So it's very important. Oh, Wings of Fire, very good. Life of Pi, very good. I think Think and Grow Rich. Okay. Good. So I'm really happy. I'll clap for all of you. Everybody has a wonderful choice of reading list. You're doing a good job. Please continue to do that. And now let's get back to the presentation. So in this presentation part, the first slide might appear to be a little critical. So please pay attention. This is not something which you are doing. This is something what is being done on you. So understand it from the teacher's perspective. Okay. So when you are in school, when you are, let's say, in a seminar room, when you are in a meeting with some clients, what do you actually do? You think. You first think and then you deliver. Okay, you talk about your presentation, you talk about your idea, you talk about your proposal, etc., etc. It's very similar to, like, if you guys have seen Shark Tank. So you see there is a there is a jury of sharks, and then the people come and pitch about their business, about their product. So in this case, what I am expecting you to do is, when you see a reading comprehension, okay, this is a tip I'm giving since somebody was asking about a tip. When you see a reading comprehension, first thing is create, which you don't have to do because it's already created. Second is evaluate. Evaluate is understand from the point of view, what is the passage trying to say? Okay, is it about a specific topic? Is it in general? Whatever it is, you have to evaluate. Third is analyze. Analysis goes deeper than reading. Reading is just reading the words, little bit of understanding, and you're done, which is not a very good idea. You should analyze, which means you should go deep inside the passage. जैसे dive करते हैं ना स्विमिंग पूल में, वैसे आपको एकदम dive करना है passage के अंदर and उसके lowest layer तक जाना है, जैसे like sea bed तक जाना है. So then you will realize what exactly is the passage trying to convey. Then comes apply. Now, one is you're going to apply the information in the questions which follow. Second is apply that information in your general awareness also, in your general discussions also. Okay. Then comes understand. So when I'm doing a topic where, let's say when I'm doing a topic on maybe environmental friendly things, recycling of paper, then it's very important that you understand the idea, you understand the concept, you need to locate it to certain geographies, you need to recognize it, you should be able to report it. All these things come in the understanding part of it. And the last is remember. If you remember what you have done today, what you have read today, it's going to remain with you till long. And that knowledge is what you are accumulating. And then you will become a wise man. Then you will realize that you have gained so much knowledge that whenever you are discussing things with somebody, people actually look up to you. Oh, wow. I should actually go to Sneha for this discussion. I should actually go to Riddhi for this discussion. I should actually go to Om for this topic. I should actually ask Paridhi about it. That's how your level will be raised. Okay, Vinayak, good morning. Paridhi, is it okay now? Okay. Now, like, for example, Hitesh says, I know English, but I'm unable to speak properly. That's because you don't speak it. You need to do that activity to learn it. You cannot learn car driving by just sitting in front of your TV and watching a Netflix show. You need to get inside the car. You need to learn how to drive. You need to sit with a trainer, and then you need to practice on your own. That's how the skill gets in you. For reading comprehension or for any other topic, if, for example, let's say we are doing a reading comprehension which is completely based on science, and you all do not have a science background. So I cannot say that, okay, I don't need to know science because I'm not from a science background. So why do I need to attempt it? That's the problem. We are not going to choose. We are going to just read whatever is relevant. If you start becoming choosers, then when you sit for your BCR exam, I have shown you last time also, there is a variety of topics which are covered for the reading comprehension, isn't it? I hope you all agree. We've done some examples also. And I'm repeating it. If you see the RTPs and the MTPs, you will realize the variety. There is music, there is speech, there is communication, there is geography, there is something about history, there is something about computers, there is something about artificial intelligence. So we don't have to restrict our knowledge only to accounts and only to tax and only to export-import policies. No. My knowledge should be like, I know everything. I can speak a little bit on everything, but I am a good speaker. Got it? How to come out of stage fear and speak fluent English? Go on the stage and start speaking. Okay? What background, Ketan? How can we understand? There is a difference. This is not just for Bloom's taxonomy. So Lakshana is not about applying this only for reading comprehension. This is a way of teaching. This is a pedagogy style. So when you have a pedagogy style, it says use information in new situations. Understand is you are able to describe it to other people as per your understanding, not your own understanding. So when we say apply comes before understand, we actually mean that you are applying the information, you are demonstrating it, you are interpreting it in a certain way. And since you have understood it, you are able to explain and recognize it and probably translate it to the other person who has not. Okay. Last, remember, is basically if you have read some content and if you feel it is relevant, you should be able to remember it whenever needed later. So there is no need to, no need to rote learn it, but you should be able to replicate it. You should be able to state that particular fact or point or quotation or some survey report sometime later. Okay, Divyanshi, got it? Okay. This is just, the technical aspect of language and comprehension. You don't need to learn the pyramid. You don't need to remember these verbs. It's just a way of understanding. So that's why I shared my screen. Fine. Okay. Now somebody was asking me what is taxonomy. So here is taxonomy. Sakshi, there is nothing called best. As long as you're reading something good where good English is used, it is a better answer. So I will not be able to comment whether you should read Times of India or HT. If you really want a level of English where you think you are at a higher level, then maybe you can jump onto the Hindu. Okay? Okay. So this is just the basic about Bloom's taxonomy because it's a topic included in your syllabus. It's there in your study material also. So I thought I should at least touch base upon it. Otherwise, once it gets missed, then you'll all feel that ma'am didn't do it and maybe it appears in the question. Maybe it's there in your BCR paper for in which way. So at least you should be aware of what is Bloom's taxonomy. You can just go through these 5 points. There is nothing much to be explained here. But just for your understanding, I'm sharing it. Okay, Dhruv, just have a look. See, reading is something, which we should not get scared of. I've seen students, what they do is when they see the passage, they start looking below. Oh my God, 500 words. Oh my God, 400 words. How will we do it? Kaise hoga? Kaise hoga? Ye sab nahi sochna hai. The passage is in front of you. Go line by line. Start from the first word. Read word by word. If you think your focus gets distracted, put your finger below each word. Read each word easily, understandingly. But of course, keeping the time limit in mind. Then straight away come to the questions. When you see the questions, mostly you will know the answers. If you don't know the answers, jump back to the passage and the answers are very much there. But if you take it as a pressure, oh my God, I have 500 words to read, I have 10,000 pages to read, I have 3 books to cover, then that thing will never get retained in your mind. Then you will always be averse to reading. You will always hate reading. You will try and find reasons of not holding a book, but listening to the audiobooks, maybe listening to the summary, or maybe watching OTTs. At this point of time, if you have to be serious in your life and your CA exam, read the study material, get hold of what the paper is going to be, attempt an MTP, attempt an RTP, and continue your parallel general reading. That is enough. Janani, you can get anything. There is no hard and fast rule. You can get any kinds of passages. That's why I'm saying the more you make yourself comfortable with different types of passages, the easier it becomes during the exam. Naman, every chapter is important. So if you think that you will do only the chapters which cover the most important, the heaviest weightage, then that's not a very good idea. Okay, Bhumi has read it. Yes, Manish, what about RTPs? Dynamic notion is something which is thought to be true across people. Okay, so in education, we always consider this to be the logo. We always consider this to be the tagline. You should teach, you should also learn, and then you should assess. Okay, dynamic means it's there everywhere. It's prevalent, and notion means thought. Like a saying, we say this is more about a belief. Kartikeya, that's perfectly up to you. If you have time, you can prepare notes for comprehension. Okay, fine. Now, this is again a repetition of Bloom's taxonomy. I don't want to spend time here. You can go through this in your text because this is more about a critical analysis of the passage, which we will definitely do later. Okay, now let's come to the important part, which is types of questions. Types of questions basically mean the questions which are followed in the RC. So you have the reading comprehension. So how does it happen? You will get the reading comprehension. It'll have some very technical words. It'll have some higher vocabulary, and it'll be followed by questions. So you have to read the passage first, then you will come to the questions. Please don't do it the other way around. You will be losing your marks. Okay. It's very important at some times to go in a standard streamlined way. Don't jump to the questions. पहले passage पढ़ो, अच्छे से समझो, उसके बाद come to the questions so that there is not much of discussion कि क्या answer हो सकता है. You come back, you search the answer, and you have it in your choice. Okay. Now, what are the types of questions possible? That is what I want to spend time in. Before this, anything you want to ask? I'm just having a look at the queries once. Jignesh Pathak, if we have time only, then we can touch the study material. MTPs and RTPs are already there on the BOS site, Vedant. Why don't you have a look? Everybody who wants to practice MTPs and RTPs, everything is there on the site. Everything is there according to year-wise categorization. So there is no complicated thing. You can just visit the BOS portal, see the study material. The study material is also there in the PDF form. The question answers are also there. Then the exam papers are also there. Everything is there. Okay, Aditi, we'll discuss inference. Don't worry. MCQs, Prem, mostly MCQs. Once or twice, you might have a question to answer, which will be like a one-line answer or a two-line answer. Okay? Where are you checking, Sakshi? Why are you not finding? It's there on the app also, and it's there on the BOS portal also. Everything is there, all RTPs and all MTPs. Okay, you can check in the app also. There is nothing which is missing. Year-wise, separately, the question papers are uploaded. The study material is also there. It's just about you going and having a look. Okay, chalo, let's continue. Now, the first thing, the most important thing in a passage is, Are Roshni, I just now told you, check your MTPs and RTPs. Every year, whatever comes, it's there. Sakshi, the questions will 90% be MCQs, but sometimes you will have to write 1 or 2 lines for the answers. Okay. If you look at the mock test paper, only then you will realize how exactly these things occur. You all are jumping to a conclusion and then you are getting panicked. कैसे होगा, कैसा question आता है, कैसा answer आता है. एक बार please have a look. I'll be taking other sessions also. You please, after the class, all of you have a look at the mock tests, see the pattern, understand the patterns, see the weightage, which question has how much weightage, what is the marking scheme, understand all that, then start your preparation. Even then, if you have a doubt, then I'm always there to help you. Okay? What are you saying? Kushi, vocabulary-based questions are also there in the practice questions of ICI. Yes, Satya, the vocabulary questions are a combination. Okay? Fine? Okay, now let's just finish this because everybody is asking me RTPs, revision test papers, and MTPs, mock test papers. Okay, let's finish this now. The first is the main idea and the theme. Now, what happens is whenever you get a passage, anything, it can be economics, it can be finance, it can be environmental pollution, it can be the prime minister's visits, it can be the prime minister addressing a council of the cabinet of ministers, anything, whatever you get. The first thing is find out the main theme. What do you think is the theme the author is trying to address? That is how you will find the main theme. What is the main idea? Is it like if you're watching a show, what do you say? This is a murder mystery because there is a murder and people are solving the mystery. Okay. So that's how I'm saying first is main idea. What is the main idea? Is there a message passed? Is there a crime to be solved? Is it a romantic based passage? Is it something about science? Is it telling you about an invention? All this will help you understand the main idea or the main theme. That's one. Okay, clear? So for everything you read, you should try and identify what exactly is the main theme. If you do that, then you are at least sure about correct identification. Because in the paper, the question choices are so close as if all of them are correct. Then you get stuck, and that's what the teachers enjoy. We will really enjoy when the child gets stuck, because when you get stuck, you'll attempt it wrong. When you'll attempt it wrong, you lose marks. When you lose marks, I'll say, देखा पढ़ाई करने को कहा था ना. Don't give me a reason to shout at you. Don't give me a reason to scold you. आराम से पढ़िए, आइडेंटिफाई करिए थीम क्या है, आइडिया क्या है, क्या एग्जैक्टली बात हो रही है, किसके बारे में ऑथर कुछ कहना चाह रहा है. That is the main theme. Okay. Weightage of each chapter. Look at a mock test paper. You will get it, Shivam. So Khushi, the word list is endless. There are 50 words, 1,000 words. If I say which you don't know, you obviously can't be doing all 1,000 words, isn't it? The word list is like endless to the power of endless. But that doesn't mean that you depend on that infinite number of words. You just read a newspaper, underline the words which you don't know, and start memorizing them, start using them, start making them as part of your speech. That's how you will do vocabulary. Okay? Just give me a minute. I'll just have some water. Okay, fine. Handwriting and presentation. Kushal, you can write every day. Write clearly. If you think you haven't written well, erase it and write it again. Then you will be sure that my handwriting is improving. Okay. Yes, so it's a mix of subjective and objective, the whole BCR paper, because questions like article writing, resume writing, précis writing are all to be written, but comprehension will have a little bit of objectivity also. Even vocabulary-based questions will be objective. Okay, fine. Okay, now the next thing, provide specific details. So from the question will ask you, what do you think line number 2 wants to suggest? Do you think the author is talking in a positive tone about this? What do you feel? So you have to refer to the line. These are some specific details which are there in the passage. Everything will be there in the passage. Nothing will be out of it. If you are not getting an answer, then please accept there is some lack of understanding at your part. Reread it. Don't get panicked. कुछ नहीं होगा अगर first attempt में question नहीं आया तो जरूरी नहीं है. No extra marks for answering in the first attempt. Just that आप फिर से पढ़िए, read the passage again. If there is a reference to a line number, read that line number again. आपको समझ आएगा कि क्या बात कर रहे हैं. Is the author telling us about an information? Is the author warning us? Is the author giving you the story in detail? क्या exactly हो रहा है उन lines में? And then you will realize that the question is based on some specific details being given by few lines. Okay? How to prepare for BCR from study material. Study material खोलो, उसको पढ़ना शुरू करो, questions answer करो. Chandana, that's very simple. Hitesh, why don't you check the websites then if you did not find it in the app? Try to find a solution. You guys are like, millennials, if I don't know what you call yourself, find a solution. Don't give up. यहाँ नहीं मिला तो क्या हो गया, कहीं और मिल जाएगा. Everything is right near your nose. You just have to look for it, smell for it. Prem, what you are asking about is when you speak, that is called vocalization. Generally, we discourage vocalization because when you're reading a passage and you are vocalizing, it becomes difficult because one, that your speed decreases, two, it might also be disturbing for people around you. So don't read it out. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Razeen. Third is identify the tone and the style. So we will do tone and style today. What is the tone? What is the style? Tone is basically when the author is saying something in the passage, what tone is he using? That is tone. Style is whether it's a descriptive passage, it's a narrative passage, it's an informative passage, just telling you the style of writing. Okay. Tone is what tone, undertone of voice does the author use? Is he preaching? Is he giving you a gyan? Is he encouraging? Is he insulting? That becomes the tone. Fine. Chandana, your message is coming again and again. I just now told you how to prepare. Okay, Pankaj, you've already done tone and style last class, Han. So at least you all know. Last class, we ended up with tone and style. If you want, I can take you through it again. Otherwise, if you are good enough, then we'll go ahead. Vocabulary लिख के prepare करिए. Vocabulary के लिए there is a very good book called Norman Lewis Word Power Made Easy. That is something you all can start with. Okay. Give a suitable title. Now, title इसीलिए जरूरी होता है because any story, any article, any report is just useless without a title. It's like a person having no name. So how do you identify it? How do you tell people that, this is the person? So that's why keep it like a fixture in your mind that whenever I write something, whether it's a story, a poem, a blog, or maybe a report, anything, I should have a title. And the title is going to be the most attractive part of your story because seeing the title, people will read it. You see newspapers, how they play around. They'll give you half information in the title and it will sound very masala. It will sound very entertaining. It will sound very controversial. And then that forces the reader to read, isn't it? That actually forces the reader, let's read because there is something interesting here. But when you read the whole passage, you realize, oh, it was a normal thing. They just made the caption a little tricky. So you can also do that. The title can be a little tricky, funny, like twisted enough, or it might have some cryptic clues, some hidden clues. And then when somebody reads it, at least they have read the passage. You can say, okay, this is just my thought, so I gave a title like this. So whenever you are asked to write an article, there should be a title. And the question will also ask you among which of the following options is the best title for the given passage. Okay. Which book name do you want me to spell, Sahana? Yes, of course, Muskan. Passage will take a lot of time because you have to read first, isn't it? You have to read, you have to understand, and then you have to come back to the question. So definitely they'll take a lot of time. Okay, draw inference. Now, inference is something which you can understand after you have seen the conclusion, after you have seen the result, which means inference might be different for two different people because inference is not stated. A very good example is when everybody infers the same thing. Okay, I'll give you a very simple example. I spoke to a student who has topped the CBSE exam in class 12. He said, I used to study for 10 hours a day. Okay, this is my statement because in logic, inference is a word that comes from logic, as in the study of logic. So in statements, my statement is there. Conclusion is he studied and he topped. But what is the inference? Shall I infer that whoever studies for 10 hours a day will always stop. That becomes the inference which can be challenged at this time, in this question, because inference is not correct. Inference should be true for everybody. You should be able to derive that information from what is given, then it becomes the inference. Okay. And last is vocabulary based, which is finding synonyms and antonyms. Now, synonyms means similar meaning words, antonyms mean opposite meaning words. There are homonyms, homographs also. We'll do that in the vocabulary class, not to hurry. Right now, my concentration and my focus should only be on reading comprehension related topics. Okay. Mm. Yes, yes, Chanchal, you can, don't worry. Dhruv Shah, where are you? What is this types of question? Types of questions means the kind of questions which we asked related to the reading comprehension. Vocab book name, Sahana, is Word Power Made Easy by Norman Louis. Okay. Norman, Norman, Louis, Lewis. S is silent. Fine. You can copy the lines as it is. Don't worry about that, Chandana. If you find the answer and if you think the lines are good enough, you can write the same lines. And the last question, like we've discussed synonyms, antonyms, it might also include what is the meaning of the proverb here. It might also ask you which figurative device it is, these personifications, onomatopoeias, oxymorons, similes, metaphors, that is possible. So I think the paper on the whole it's going to be a low level paper for all of you if you study. If you read, if you have all the information around you, then you will not struggle with new words. You will not struggle with the writing task also. Writing takes a lot of time. So make sure you spend good enough time in reading comprehension and good enough time in writing. Okay. So on that, Josh Talk and TEDx will improve definitely. If not anything else, you will gain some knowledge and information. Summary writing is a different topic. Hitesh, I think we should do it then, not here in the question answer session. Okay. Amit, you can increase your handwriting if it's very small. How should I join the Zoom classes? You are already in a Zoom class, Yashika. Okay. So on that note, I'll just take a 5-minute break because all of you are feeling very heavy. After this, we're going to start with what exactly the questions are, how they appear to be in a passage. That will make things more clear. Then I will take up each topic, how to identify the theme, how to look for poetic devices, how to ensure that you have chosen the correct title. Everything will be discussed. Okay. So I'll see you in 5 minutes. Please be ready with your queries till now. I hope the class is going on high energy levels and you are also in a high energy in spite of the hot and the heat everywhere in India. So please, let's get geared up. Remember, consistent reading, persistent knowledge, and you are the topper in BCR. Okay. So we'll come back in 5 minutes and start. Okay, welcome back, students, after a break. I hope the questions we have done till now are clear. I'll share my screen once again. Please have a look. We are doing reading comprehension. We've already discussed Bloom's taxonomy, and now the discussion will be about type of questions. If there are some queries about type of questions, you can please put them in the chat box. I'm going to have a look. Okay, so this is where we stopped. Vocabulary based questions are something which is tricky because then, your vocabulary is getting tested. Devansh, I think it's already 10 minutes. By heart synonyms. No, Bhumi, see, the list of words in the world is endless. Even I wouldn't know, even you wouldn't know, even Mr. Shashi Tharoor wouldn't know. It's not that you have to keep doing words. No, nothing like that. You just have to keep reading something good every day. The words will automatically come into your mind. Okay? Summary of the passage. Hitesh, see, we are not discussing the summary. There is no question here in reading comprehension which will be asking you to write the summary. So don't bother about that. Fine. Amit, we'll discuss inference. Don't worry. Each of these questions will be discussed in detail. Okay, now the first is how to identify the main theme. So when you have a passage in front of you, you all should be able to identify what exactly is the subject. Why are we discussing? What are we discussing? What is the author trying to say? If you can do that, then I think you have done a great job in identifying the main theme. Second is summarize the passage for yourself. Okay, the question will not ask you to write a summary because that becomes a very long setup of answers. That much we don't expect out of you. But yes, for the summary, you should be able to do it as a practice, as a self practice. Third, check the first and the last line. They are very important because mostly the topic is mentioned either in the first line or towards the end of the passage. Okay. It's very rare that the passage starts with something general and then the main subject or the main theme comes in the middle of the paragraphs. It doesn't happen. Mostly it doesn't happen like that. But yes, the introduction of the passage and the conclusion of the passage will have the main theme. So you should be reading that very, very carefully. Okay. Next is look for repetition. Now, in repetition, what happens is there are some themes which are recurrent. You always see he's talking about nature, 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 nature. You always see he's talking about recycled plastic. We should use this, we should not use this, we should use this kind of a disposable one time plastic should not be used. So, that repetition of ideas in the passage gives you a hint that yes, I think my author or the passage I'm reading is mostly talking about so and so and so topic. And the last is a consistent use of a thought or a tone. Consistent uses, it's always there. It's coming out from almost all paragraphs in the passage. That is what is consistent. And thought or a tone is, I think that the mood of the author is something I can identify with. So when he was writing, he was trying to explain something to his audience. When he was writing, he was trying to preach to the audience. When he was writing, he was trying to warn the audience. All this kind of understanding helps me identify the thought, the tone, the style, the mood, and also helps me identify the main subject or the topic. Okay, clear? Till here, any doubts? ध्रुव, आप प्लीज एक बार एमटीपी खोल के देख लीजिए कितने मार्क्स का क्या आता है, पेपर का वेटेज क्या है, कितने क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, किस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. Everything will be there. Though I am discussing the type of questions here, you can still have a look at the MTPs. ठीक है? Any other thing? Pankaj, I'm not sure. I'll let you know vocabulary, how to do vocabulary. So the point is, if I'm giving you some difficult words, you should be able to answer them because Those are the words which will be coming in the exam. Fine. See, Chandana, we are discussing reading comprehension right now, isn't it? If I start discussing grammar doubts, will that not be incorrect or inappropriate on my part? You tell me. I have a limited 2 hour slot. I have to finish reading comprehension, bring you to a level where you all can say towards the end that, yes, ma'am, we are confident we will be able to attempt RC. Okay. So when you have a grammar class, you should discuss your grammar doubts at that time. Let it be very specifically, categorized. That's the reason why why ICI is giving you so many classes. Please have a look at the BOS portal. The study material and the test papers are all uploaded there. No, Sumit. We'll come to that, Amit. How to identify the tone, I'll tell you. Okay? Don't worry. Fine. Now, the next thing is very important. You have to be very sure about how to identify the main theme. That is something I'm requesting. If you understand that, then first important part of the passage is clear. That means you have understood the most important part of the passage. Fine. Okay. So this is an example. Is BCR though? What does that mean, Mustaqim? I didn't understand. Is BCR though? Okay, I'm giving you a passage. It's a small 4-line passage. Please read the passage and identify the theme of this or the main subject. What is the main issue being addressed in these 4 lines? Please tell me. Quickly. Please finish reading these 4 lines and then tell me what is the main theme. The passages will not be this short. I'm just trying to give you a starting point that, okay, if you start doing it like 4 line, 10 line, 50 line, 500 words, then you will get a good control over the understanding. Divided means it is a law which divides something. It's there in the sentence. That's why I'm telling you, please try and get your answers from the passage only. Priyanshu, that is not the main theme of the passage that Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat. That is an incident which happened, which sparked a movement called the Civil Rights Movement, which is the main theme. So basically, the passage is talking about the discrimination between the blacks and the whites. It was an African American movement, and it is about an event that started or gave a spark for the beginning of the civil rights movement. So a small incident like refusing your seat in the bus to a white man is the actual reason for the sparking of such a big movement. Okay, this is the main theme. If you can understand these 4 lines and if you still feel that you are not doing good, then I think you need to read more. You need to read more newspaper articles. You need to read more magazine articles, because this is the easiest that could have been given to you. Okay, Om, okay. Civil rights movement, yes. No, Harish, see, you're getting it Incorrect. It's not about there should not be discrimination. That we will come to later. What should be, what should not be. इन 4 लाइनों से क्या समझ आ रहा है कि सिविल राइट मूवमेंट्स का बिगनिंग कैसे हुआ. दैट इज व्हाट इज द मेन थीम राइट नाउ. ठीक है. Okay, Debashree, good. She's attempting equal right for everyone. That's the title. Good choice. नरेश भाई, इज इट ब्लैक वुमन व्हाइट मैन? ये कैसा थीम हुआ? ऐसा आप सोचोगे तो कैसे बीसीआर का पेपर अटेम्प्ट होगा? आपको क्या सोचना है कि सिर्फ एक मैन और वुमन है क्या पूरे 4 लाइंस में? उसमें इतनी बड़ी बड़ी लाइंस लिखी हैं. देयर इज अ लॉ ऑफ सेग्रीगेशन, देयर इज द स्टार्ट ऑफ द सिविल राइट्स मूवमेंट because there was a white woman and a black woman and a white man का incident. All this happened. तो किसके बीच में इंसिडेंट हुआ as opposed to what did it lead to? What makes more sense? थोड़ा आप लोग अपना एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट करके सोचिए. यू हैव टू थिंक बियॉन्ड व्हाट इज गिवन. अगर आप रिस्ट्रिक्ट करोगे अपने आप को कि सिर्फ वो 4 लाइनें हैं उसी में से कुछ निकलेगा, यू माइट नॉट बी कमिंग टू द राइट आंसर. वो एक हिंट देंगे, उस हिंट के बेसिस पे आपको आगे का सोचना है. ओके. Okay, so most of you have given me the correct answer that it's about a civil rights movement which started as a result of Rosa Parks, an African American woman who refused to give her seat to a white man. Okay, got it? So basically, theme is racial discrimination. Simple. इससे ज्यादा simple नहीं हो सकता है. Okay, let's try one. Okay, have a look at this. This is another example. What is the theme, the main topic, or the subject of the passage? सुमित, कलरिज्म तो कोई वर्ड नहीं होता है. थीम इज अबाउट रेशियल डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, मतलब टू डिस्क्रिमिनेट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कलर. ओके. So colorism is basically discrimination. That's the synonym. Read it quickly. देखो क्या आंसर मिल रहा है इसमें आपको. I'm waiting for all of you. Finish reading 4 lines, hardly 3 lines. The passages will definitely be longer than these, and the passage content will be tougher than this. A rose throne, weird body, aliens. What strange answers am I getting? क्या आप लोग कहाँ सोच रहे हो? It's about a scorpion, by the way. If you see, it's a descriptive passage. क्यों? क्योंकि उसमें डिस्क्रिप्शन हो रही है किसी ऑर्गेनिज्म की, किसी क्रीचर की. सो जब डिस्क्रिप्शन हो रही होती है, क्या होता है उसमें? adjectives यूज किए हैं. If you can see what I've underlined, crooked, enormous, bulbous, all these are adjectives. Adjectives define a noun. तो crab के claws कैसे थे? Enormous थे. crab की body कैसी थी? Bulbous थी. crabs के animal का legs कैसे थे? Crooked थे. So on the whole, this is basically about a scorpion. अब अगर आपकी reading already इतनी अच्छी होती, you would have easily guessed that this is about a scorpion. It's not about aliens and it's not about weird looking thing. ये बहुत easy है. सब weird looking thing लिख रहे हैं, but क्या looking thing? वो तो first line में ही लिखा है, it's a weird looking thing. What value addition are you doing? आप भी तो बताओ क्या चीज हो सकती है. Fatima, what about autobiography? Why are you writing autobiography? Yes, Mansi, correct. Nidhi, correct. Dhruv, what does enormous mean? You should really start reading, Dhruv. You should really start reading something more. It will be poverty. Vedant, poverty का topic कहाँ से आ गया? Very good, Saloni. Okay, Kartikeya, good answer. Chanchal is right. Vidipta is right. Ruhani, it's not a snake. It's not a lizard, sorry. Crooked is like not straight. Crooked is like something like, it's bent. Many birds have crooked beaks. And bulbous is something which has like, the round shaped things coming out, like a bulb. Okay. Yes, enormous means huge. Good. Okay, good, Nidhi. Okay, Harish, enormous means huge. Suryakanta, the strategy to crack the exam is you should read good English and you should speak good English. If you can do that, then you will crack the exam. Okay. So my idea behind making you aware is this is also a passage you can get. I mean, part of the passage, obviously, not the whole passage. And if you get stuck with words like enormous, then I really feel that you should right away after the class ends, take some good newspaper and start reading and enhance your vocabulary. अगर आप लोग इतना इजीली लोगे ना तो ऑफिस जाके भी यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू स्पीक इन इंग्लिश. रिपोर्ट बनाने को कोई बोलेगा इंग्लिश में वो भी नहीं कर पाओगे. प्रेजेंटेशन तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं होगा अगर आपको एनॉर्मस जैसे वर्ड्स में भी प्रॉब्लम आ रही. ठीक है. Armor is generally, if you have seen war soldiers, they wear a kind of a shield in front of their body in the over the the upper half, which is to protect them from any attack. That's an armor. Sometimes you wear it like this. It just comes down. It's set on the upper part of the body. Okay, moving on. Is it description about any personality? Chandana, personality कैसे अभी तो बताया. It is about a scorpion. It's about a creature. Personality तो बहुत famous हो गई ना. Personality is a word which we generally use for people who are celebrities, who are famous, isn't it? Yes, Kushal, very much. Sumit, एक बार please open the mock test paper. थोड़ा सा देख लो आप लोग भी टेस्ट पेपर में क्या लिखा है. Instead of asking me how many questions, how many passages, why don't you all check for yourself once? You'll really get a fair idea about what the paper looks like. Okay. What about turtle, Saurabh? It's not about a turtle. Okay. So some of you really seem to be stuck with this level and I'm really feeling bad about it. I wish I could have helped you more. I can spend more time. You are not getting to the essence of understanding the BCR paper. The BCR paper is going to check you for your knowledge of language, for your knowledge of English. उसमें grammar भी है, उसमें writing भी है, उसमें reading aspects of reading, writing, attempting questions. Now, if you, Yasha, it cannot be a crab because it is specifically a description for scorpions. Crabs, as far as I know, don't have a sting. Okay. Now, it's very easy to sit and ask questions like how many questions will be there, what will be the weightage. I will be really, really happy and obliged if after the class, all of you see the portal, have a look at the study material. Okay, how to choose a title. Now, here what happens is the title needs to be very catchy. This is something I tell all my students. Please don't make a dull and a boring title. The moment I see a dull and a boring title, I'll say, I'll feel, oh, I don't want to read it. It's not very interesting. So make sure the title is catchy and it talks about the essence. It talks about the main aspect of the passage. इससे पहले आपने टॉपिक या सब्जेक्ट या थीम चूज कर लिया है कि पैसेज में ये है. ओके, सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज, अगर आपका टाइटल उस चीज को कवर नहीं करता है या आपका टाइटल उस चीज को इंक्लूड नहीं करता है, आप टाइटल में कुछ और लिख रहे हो, पैसेज में कुछ और लिख रहे हो, देयर इज नो कनेक्ट बिटवीन द टू, तो पढ़ने वाले को लगेगा ये क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं, राइट? So the title should actually be a shortest version possible of the main topic of the passage. Third comes the main idea. अब जरूरी नहीं है मेन आइडिया बहुत बड़ा है. It can be a small thing. It can be just cleanliness. It can be just hygiene. It can be just yoga. It can be just meditation. So that particular word should be part of your title. अगर आपने उस चीज को टाइटल में इंक्लूड किया है जो आपका मेन आइडिया है, then you have done a very good job. You will definitely get full marks. Next is short and crisp, because titles are not supposed to be more than one line. They can be without articles. They can be like a saying. They can be like a proverb. You can put an exclamation mark. All that is allowed in the title. Okay. But you cannot have like a 10 line long passage and a 5 line long title. वो allowed नहीं. Title has to be 4 to 5 words, maximum 6 words. उससे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं है, because हम सारी story title में नहीं बता रहे हैं. We are just using it as a heading. And last of all, it should be self-explanatory, which means whenever I see the title, मुझे पता चल जाता है कि this is about an animal, about a creature, about an organism, about a person, about a celebrity. What is it actually about? I know it beforehand. ठीक है? Yes, I will, Sumit. Is there a lag still? Saloni is feeling there is a lag. Saloni and Pankaj only. Is there a lag still, or is it okay? Okay. Now, on the basis of these 5 points about how to choose a title, let's try to do this question. I'll show you an example. This is the example. Okay. Now, this is what I told you about title. So when you have a title, you have to identify the main subject. You cannot be misled by minor details. Why? Because they will try to confuse you. The passage will give you a lot of things which are not important. So you have to remove that and you have to focus on the main ideas. Fine. And last of all, title is not a conclusion. Many people get confused that title is nothing but the ending, but it is not. Conclusion is different. Conclusion is, after all the discussions, I have reached to a point where I can say this with certainty. I can justify it. That is a conclusion. Okay, but the title cannot be conclusion. For example, let's say we're doing algebra. Okay, now I'm trying to solve a quadratic equation. I come up with the conclusion x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 4. But is this conclusion my title? No, because title was quadratic equations to be remembered, to be solved. So title is what am I going to do in the next few minutes? What am I going to do in this category? Conclusion is what is going to be arrived at or achieved at or derived after you finish a certain set of questions or experiments. Okay, clear? Is it okay? Okay, Sakshi, now I think it's fine. Got it? Any doubts till now, please tell me. You have to ask me anything where you feel you are getting stuck, it's not getting into your mind, because reading comprehension is a very extensive topic. बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी होती हैं जो आपको over the night नहीं आती हैं. So you have to take it slowly, you have to take it with stride. ठीक है, आज मैं questions करूंगी, आज मैं टाइटल करूंगी, आज मैं मे बी इम्पोर्टेंट सपोर्टिंग डिटेल्स वाले क्वेश्चन करेंगे. सो गो स्टेप बाय स्टेप. ओके, this is the passage. Give it a title. Let's do some practice now. This is the passage in front of you. It's again just 3 lines. Give me a title. I'm waiting for your answers. Read it carefully. It's just 3 lines. And don't get baffled if you see a word which you don't know. उस टाइम पे कोई आपको हेल्प नहीं करेगा, आप किसी से पूछ नहीं सकते हो. यू हैव टू मैनेज विदाउट नोइंग द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड. दैट्स व्हाट आई एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम यू राइट नाउ. Okay, everything is clear, Ruhani. Thank you, Chandana. Thank you, Vansi. Give me a title for this very quickly. If you have no doubts, then your title should come very fast. This is the easiest question. And good for you, you will have 4 choices. So you just have to identify A acha hai, B acha hai, C acha hai, ya D acha. Her skin was rich black that would have peeled like a plum if slag. She smiled often with slow widening of lips. She had small teeth. She thought of getting close enough to her, to snag her. किसी के बारे में description है. It's about her. Who is this her? I don't know. It's a physical description about her face and her skin and how it had snagged. You know what is snag? It's getting loosened. It's almost like falling down. Then you can see the smile on her face. What is the smile like? वो आपको बता दिया गया है. So please see, अगर किसी चीज की description है and you can make out that it is a description of a human being or an animal, try to use that in your title. Okay. uh, can the title be the black skin? I would never read it. Okay, Yamini says the lady. Very good. The rich black lady, maybe. Kartikeya says buffalo. Where are you getting this idea that it's a buffalo? One old lady, Sonal. We never have a title like one old lady. You always should say the old lady or an old lady. Okay? Black Beauty is a good answer. It's not about a name of a fruit, Harish. Please read it carefully. Just because you see there is a word plum, it doesn't mean it becomes a fruit. Peel like a plum is a simile. Sahana is saying dog. Am I not using words like she everywhere? Still, you don't get it that it's not a dog, it's not an animal. Beauty of skin. Sakshi, where is the beauty of skin? It's just the skin described. It's not about how beautiful skins are. Unknown woman. Okay, Sovan. But why would I read a topic which says unknown woman? If the author also doesn't know it, why should I know it? ठीक है. देखो आप लोग ना थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हो रहे हो. You don't have to pick lines from the passage first of all for the title. Secondly, even if you are picking lines, you don't have to repeat them every time. Thirdly, the passage will hint towards a larger theme. उसको support करने के लिए there are supporting details. But larger theme is what? The rich woman who has black skin, she often smiled with the widening of the lips, etc. And she showed her small white teeth. So it's the rich black woman. Who is she? What is she? What is her profession? What is the background? That you will learn in the story. But as of now, this much title is enough. Okay, do it for this now. Example 2. Example 2. Please read it carefully. This is a longer passage. What is the title and what is the story about? What is the passage about? You all really need to work hard towards understanding vocabulary, because I can now realize that many of you have a poor vocabulary and that's going to affect your exam performance. That's why I'm more concerned. Okay, Yashas. Now, is the passage about smile, the last passage? If you're writing smile, a smile makes light from dark. Whose smile? Is the lady continuously smiling in the passage? You don't have to necessarily use the word beauty every time. Janani has at least got what it is about. Naman has got it. All of you shift to the second passage. We believe that coffee is more than just a drink. Leave the first one. Okay, legend of coffee is good. History of coffee is good. Discovery of coffee. Hitesh, instead of writing discovered, you can write discovery of coffee. Okay, a discovery of Kaldi. Very good, Roshni. This time you all have returned with a bang. I'm so happy. Good job, guys. Most of you, I should say, all of you are giving me a very good title. So now you have actually understood how a title should be written. Chetna says last answer. What last answer should I check? Origin of coffee, discovery of coffee, history of coffee, Kaldi's experiment, coffee colon our culture, journey of coffee, energetic drink. Okay, fine. Coffee and energetic drink. Evolution of coffee, a cherry with a jolt. Coffee, very good. That's interesting. Okay, good. So this time I'm happy. I'm very happy. All of you have understood the main theme. You have given me a good title. Always remember the title and the main theme should relate to each other. It's not possible that the theme is something different and then you are just giving it a title for the sake of it. No. The title is always dependent on the main theme. So first read the passage, understand the main theme, and then give it a title. Okay? Uh, what was I about to say? The coffee? No. Mostly everybody has written related to coffee, and it's good. If you're writing only coffee, then I think it's a little boring. You can make it more interesting. Okay, fine. Now comes inference and conclusion, because this is about how to infer and how to conclude. Okay. I'm still getting coffee's revolution. Good answer. Divisha, if you say coffee a beverage, isn't that something everybody knows? Why should we give a title like this? Okay, favorite beverages, coffee, fine, Sumit. Okay, Suhani, sorry, Sahana, good, Harsh, good, Yashas, good. Okay, good. So now I'm happy. You've given me good answers. Let's come to the next part, inference versus conclusion. Now, what happens in an inference is an assumed fact which is based on a given information. The information is the sun rises in the east. Okay. So any fact which we are taking on the basis of this fact becomes an inference. Any logical step to understand further or to reach a decision or to give me a final definition of science, in science, any topic, that is a conclusion. So the conclusion should always make sense to everybody. Inference can be personal because you are using them for your own observation, and your background knowledge, your studies, your career is asking you to understand that inference. Conclusion means complete end. So if I end the story happily, I'll say it is a positive conclusion. If I end the story in a way that you are all pushed to the edge of your seat and you want to know, or batao, what's happening next, what's happening next, that becomes a cliffhanger conclusion. Okay? So ऐसे various conclusions हैं that we don't need to get into. You just need to understand that inference is something which is more of a process than an immediately taking task. Got it? Okay. Now for this, can you give me the conclusion or maybe the title, both title and conclusion? Title and conclusion, please. Read it carefully. Look at the underlined words. You will get some hint. See, BCR paper is all about practice. The more you practice, the more confident you will become, and then you will not have all these questions to ask. Then I will miss the interaction with you because I can see all of you are attentively doing. That is very important. If you have a platform, if you have a class, if you have books, utilize the best of all the resources you have. Only then you can clear CA. Economic growth and development, GDP, backbone of economy. Okay, good. Economic growth and development and income for GDP. Okay, good. So now also I'm seeing many of you have given me good answer. You're talking about economic growth, you're talking about development, you're talking about calculations of GDP. So all this is making sense. See, the good part in English is there is no one single answer, like in math or science or maybe in accounts and tax. Because we are not solving a question based on some formula so that it's true for everybody. वैसा नहीं होता है. English में it's very creative, it's very imaginative, it's very innovative, and it's very, very subjective. I might be checking your paper, I like it. The moment I show it to somebody else, he'll say, नहीं नहीं ये तो और अच्छा हो सकता था, ये तो इस age का नहीं है. The moment I show it to somebody else, they'll say, oh wow, this is the best paper I've seen. So all this is very, very relative. अगर आप लोग पढ़ रहे हो, you are aware about writing a title, you are aware about giving examples, you are aware about the figurative devices which we have learned, then I think it is just a simple test. You have to go, read, give, and come back. Okay? Okay. No doubts. Let's move on then. I'm just seeing the answers once. Okay, Mansi, good. Pratyush, good. Bhumika, good. Harish, good. Lavina. SOP opportunity, government revenues. Lavina, are we talking about government revenues as the main thing here? Fluctuations in GDP. No, Yashas, not correct. Okay, good answers I'm getting. Very good. So I think all of you have attempted a lot of questions, a lot of answers. I'm happy with that. See, now that you're attempting it on your own, you are realizing how important it is to practice yourself. You have a passage in front of you. You just try to give it a title, just try to give it an inference, try to find out the main theme. And if there is any difficult word, find out the synonym and the antonym. It's just to be done by yourself. If you start feeling that somebody will come and do it with you, that time will never come. Okay? Let me just move on. Okay, this is a very interesting passage. All of you read it. Two things required. One is give me a heading, a title, and secondly, tell me what is it about. If you can tell me these two things, then I'm sure you all are getting full marks in the BCR paper. Just joking. But yes, I want you to attempt this. Please quickly read this and tell me what about the Marauders map. Are there any Potterheads in class? Chanchal, your messages are coming blank and they're coming many in number. All of you are talking about, okay, now I'm getting answers. Till now, all of you are talking about GDP and economy. Please forget about the last passage. Come to the next passage, please. Magic and title is Harry Potter. Harry Potter is not the title of this passage, please. It cannot be that simple. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप कोई भी एक word उठा के लिख दोगे और बोल दोगे ये मेरा title है. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है. What about Harry Potter? Even when J.K. Rowling is writing her books, she's giving you a title, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, etc., etc. So there has to be a title to it. It's not just going to be one word. Same thing for an answer like Marauder's map. Is the map the only thing which is important throughout these 6 to 7 lines? No, right? They're going to use the map in some way. So even your title should say something about the map. Don't bring extra information. Please remember that. Philosopher's life. Okay, Fatima, you really have to study, please, girls. Marauder's map. Okay, that can be a title. The Marauder's mysterious map. Okay. So isn't it more focusing on the map? It's a lasting testimony, which means it's something everybody believes to have done. So it's like a testimony. And of course, you all get to know it is about Harry Potter because the name occurs somewhere. So what I'm trying to say is when you read a passage like this, you should jump out of excitement. You should feel, wow, I've got a passage which is easy. I've got a passage which is not on finance and accounts. So I think I can easily crack it. Ironically, these passages are tough because they are taken from excerpts or already published books. So we are just taking a part of it. What comes before and what comes after, you don't know. I don't know. So just depending on these 6 to 7 lines of the passage, you have to answer the questions. As a result, your understanding of the passage should be perfect. Okay? Got it? Fine. This is very long. Okay. Okay, so this is the last thing I want you to do today, and then I'll just revise it. The last thing is it's a very long passage. Mostly your comprehension will be like this in the exam. Mostly. Hardly 1 or 2 lines less or more, but this is how your comprehension will be. So if you have this as your comprehension, I have a few list of questions next page. You will answer them, but please read the comprehension properly once. Okay, Mustaqim says birth of a magician. Who is the magician? The map or Harry Potter or his friends? Magical map of Marauder. Magical ability for friends. Is this a complete answer in itself? Who's written it? Saksh, nahi, sorry. Naman. Is this a correct answer? Magic, sorry, Marauders map and dark. Forget about this map thing now. Please move ahead. Everybody is stuck at the dark magic. Okay, Ruhani, this is for this passage. Perseverance always pays. That's a very good title, actually. Good job, Ruhani. You've chosen a good title. So remember the last sheets which we did. You first have to understand what is the passage trying to say, what is the main theme of the passage, why is the author talking about agonizing, embarrassing, and scariest other of human expressions, how is it being related to Thomas Edison, who is the inventor, who is a discoverer also. So there are many things which you should question before you jump to conclusions. Okay. If you straight away say, okay, I'll read the last line, I'll say self-sabotaging downward spiral of hopelessness, despair, and frustration. That's my conclusion. Well, that's not your conclusion. That conclusion is coming from the passage. Okay. So spend some time when you think of a story. क्या अच्छा लगता है उसमें introduction इतनी अच्छी होती है that you feel very good. The story is going to be amazing. Similarly, towards the end, conclusion इतना interesting होता है. Either it's a cliffhanger or it's an open-ended conclusion or it's a family conclusion, whatever it is. It always depends on the conclusion that you are going to use a technique which is exactly what is expected in the paper. Don't get distracted. There are so many words in the passage which are distracting you. There are so many lines which are irrelevant. There are so many supporting details. Please forget that. Conclusions, titles, all these are very objective based questions. They are all going to be in the multiple choice format and there are going to be very close choices. आपको देख के लगेगा first भी ठीक है, second भी ठीक है, third भी ठीक है. तो क्या करोगे आप? आपको passage पढ़ना है. Please remember, बिना passage पढ़े questions नहीं solve करने हैं. You will always attempt them wrong. Read the passage thoroughly. Reread the passage thoroughly अगर time है. Then come to the questions. अगर conclusion की question की choices में या title selection की question की choices में कुछ ऐसा दिया है, then you will be able to identify it only if you have read it. ठीक है? Human is better than robo. I don't even know what to say now. Grit the way to success. Okay. Okay. ठीक है. So what I'm realizing it is all of you are trying hard. आप लोग कोशिश कर रहे हो कि conclusions पे आप पहुंचो, titles आप अच्छे select करो. Now you will do the same thing for the passages in the study material. Open the study materials after the class, take up a passage, start reading it. Read करने के बाद, okay, read करने के बाद सबसे पहले होना चाहिए आप उसके लिए एक summary लिख रहे हो. If you write the summary, then you will be very, very clear कि मुझे समझ आ गया है because you're going to write exactly what the author has said. That is the first step. Second, underline all the difficult words of the passage and try to find the meanings and उसको आप अपनी vocabulary में use करिए. Third, read the passage loudly in front of the mirror. That takes care of speaking skills also and that takes care of your confidence also. So you will not feel shy when you're reading it aloud. You might get stuck at words like अच्छा zest क्या होता है, fulfilling क्या होता है, agonizing क्या होता है, sabotaging क्या होता है. ठीक है, उसका meaning भी पता करना है, but at least you can stand with the notebook and you can read. Okay, एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, फिगर आउट द मेन थीम. वो इतना ज्यादा मुश्किल हो जाता है कई बार. आई हैव सीन व्हाट यू गाइस वर डूइंग. कोई कह रहा है ब्लैक वुमन, कोई कह रहा है व्हाइट वुमन, कोई कह रहा है बस, कोई कह रहा है सीट. ऐसे मेन थीम नहीं डिटेक्ट होती है. ठीक है. ओके, नाउ फॉर दिस, synonym for distressing is given in para 3. Please find out synonym for distressing. Distresses बहुत ज्यादा difficult, बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल situation में, बहुत ज्यादा unhelpful feel करना, बहुत ज्यादा helpless feel करना, that is distressing. Synonym for distressing, antonym for heedlessness. Paragraph 4 में there is a word which is the antonym for heedlessness. Paragraph 3 में there is a word which is a synonym for distressing. Okay, despair. Dishika says despair. Very good. And 4 में for helplessness. Oh, sorry. For helplessness, there is despair. And for the third paragraph, agonizing. Helplessness is not the word. Okay, hopelessness. ठीक है, got it. Okay. So please remember, question answer के time पे आप लोगों का knowledge इतना अच्छा होना चाहिए कि even if there is something which is difficult, you can read the passage again and come to the answer. Okay. Dash means to continue in para 2, 1 and 2. What means to continue? Keep going. It's the last line of the paragraph. To keep going means to continue. Okay. Thomas Edison is a good example of dash. Determination, bravery, grit, or intelligence. Choose one option. If you see the passage, would have clearly showed it to you. Thomas Edison is a model of grit from the choices, and your answer will be grit. Okay. Okay, a suitable title. A suitable title to the passage. Many of you have written good answers for the passage title this time. Fine. So when I recap, since all of you have already given me, grit is the correct answer. Yes, everybody, you've already given me a lot of titles today. I'll just quickly take a recap before we end the class. So in the end, my only request is start reading something. Underline the words which you think are difficult. Find more synonyms and antonyms. Try to speak in English. The first lines of the passage you should read very carefully because that's where most of the information lies, or maybe towards the conclusion. The middle part of the passages will be heavy. Language will be difficult. English is an easy language and you all can score full marks because you have to just study something general. You don't have to study any academic book. Then when you see the questions, don't hurry to jump the questions. Many people get distracted. Oh my God, 5 question है, कैसे होगा? अभी तो passage ही नहीं हुआ है. हो जाएगा. हो जाएगा means you just read the passage, go stepwise. Stepwise movement always helps during the exams. Fine. Every question has its answer hidden in the passage. Hidden मतलब आपको एक लाइन को ऐसे ध्यान से पढ़ना है with like a microscope कि वो कुछ कहना चाह रहा है. That particular line is hinting towards something. अगर वैसा हो गया ना तो your answers are always correct. अपने आप नहीं सोचना, and most importantly don't use extra information which you already know. जैसे एक passage है suppose Amazon portal का, okay? The big giant marketplace called Amazon, and you have a lot of knowledge about Amazon, but the passage which is written is not telling me all that कि उसमें उसके पास कितनी investment है, what are the plans of expansion. वो सब आपको individual capacity में पता है, but passage में नहीं है. अब अगर passage में नहीं है तो कहीं between the lines उस information को reread करो, वो information बाहर आएगी. अपनी नॉलेज उस आंसर को अटेम्प्ट करने में नहीं यूज करनी है. ओके. Select the answer as per the passage. Do not use outside information. I just now told you. Think of a context and a broad framework. फ्रेमवर्क होता है वो skeletal structure. जैसे आप फ्रेम कराते हो ना किसी पिक्चर को, you go and click your selfie, you go to some nice mall and then you get yourself clicked, and then if the picture comes out to be really well, you want to get it framed, isn't it? So वो ही यहाँ पे करना है. Framework is basically the skeletal structure जिस पे पैसेज बेस्ड है, वो बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर की. अच्छा पहले इंट्रोडक्शन है, अच्छा फिर माइनर डिटेल्स है, अच्छा लास्ट में कंक्लूजन है, and attempt the passage as per the answers. Okay. Well, I think we've done a lot today because the topic is also heavy and sometimes it gets quite monotonous because you are only reading and answering, reading and answering. So what I suggest is, in the future, please start doing the study material because the questions are of real good quality. There is enough theory for you to read. You don't have to read from any external source. This much is enough. For your queries, you can obviously write to me. You can share your queries with me. But if you don't think it is happening, do not worry. Because language is a paper which does not happen over a day. No matter how many formulas are there, are not there. English language is difficult to grasp and fathom. Okay. So I request you, please finish this. Read about synonyms, antonyms. I've discussed types of questions. I've discussed techniques to attempt. There are a few more techniques. So maybe when I meet you next for another topic, first 5 minutes, maybe we will do some other techniques. And very importantly, please, all of you speak. In this platform, the only challenge is you can type, but I can speak, and I think I'm audible enough. But if you speak in front of the camera, sit with your topic, just start speaking about whatever is happening with you. It's just like making a mini vlog or a blog. Okay, vlog actually. So it's just like a mini vlog. You stand in front of the mirror, speak, or if not speak, then read the reading comprehension aloud, see different pages, look at science books and geography books of your friends and siblings, the course which you don't have. All this together is really going to help you in a very, very beneficial way. Okay. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much for being an attentive audience. Thank you so much for answering all the questions. I'll see you next week with more such information. We're going to cover many more topics. By then, I will ask you again how many of you have started reading, and I hope to hear a positive answer. Okay. The presentations will be uploaded soon. You can listen to the video again. You can see the presentations also. If there is any difficult word, refer to a dictionary. And remember, business correspondence and reporting is not a mugging up paper. It's just general life skill you inspire and you inculcate, and all of you will be doing a very good job. Fine. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day. See you soon. Thank you.